Y'all are so sweet to me. Thank you. I was just talking. Could you tell I was like talking? I was talking my head off. And then I come back down here and it's like mute. Like y'all couldn't hear Stevie. Y'all couldn't hear nothing. That's the difference between look, perception and reality. You thought that you could hear me, that you thought maybe I had value. I bet somebody actually thought that it was that I what I know how you know. You looked at it. Oh, right? Exactly. I'm talking about that right now. Thank you. Thank you. And the thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tice. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Got you. Got me now. Exactly. But I was talking about what I wanted to I would have noticed it, but I went right into trying to share something with you. So and thank you. Um thank you so much, Ms. Nixon. Also, she told my daughter. And I'm gonna tell you about Ms. Nixon has a mission trip that's coming up, which kind of is right in the mix of this. God is amazing. And so we're talking, remember, how you doing, Ms. Muhammad? Thank you. This is about perception, financial perception versus financial reality. And I'm gonna try to start like midway in this because oh no, I'm gonna show you Bryan. I'm not even gonna show you this. I might not have to show you this one, but it is about Africa. But I would rather show you Bryan. His name is Bryan, the young man that I want to share with you. Okay, here we go. And so Bryan is on this Facebook one. Here we go. I'm gonna make sure he's not muted. Let me start over. I'm gonna figure out how to start him over. All right, Bryan, we're gonna try to start you over, bro. Can y'all see it? Wait a second. Wait a second. Here you go.
Map. It looks very small.
It
I'm gonna
is
get
the
him. I'm gonna
victim
start him
of the
over.
Mercator
Okay.
Projection.
I'm not sure how I can get him, but I'm gonna get him to
He
start
in
over.
50
Is
years.
this
You got
arrow?
money in Africa.
And I get him to,
You know, Africa has 54 countries.
Yep.
So why is it that on the map it looks very small?
It is the victim of the Mercator projection. He in 5007, Gerardus Mercator, he fixed this problem. He tried to make navigational lines straight, but there was a twist. And to do this, he had to distort land masses and bodies of water. So it's making the USA, Canada, and Russia look more bigger than they are, and making South America, Africa, and Australia look smaller. Africa is so big that you can fit just the contiguous United States into just the Sahara Desert, and you can also squeeze in China, Western Europe, India, Argentina, Scandinavia, and the UK, and still have some room left over.
What?
Yeah.
he's so cute.
Wow.
And let me also tell you something. And did you know that the Pacific Ocean is so big that you can fit all the continents in it and still have some room to spare?
Wow.
So, like Bryan is talking about a perception versus reality of how big Africa is. And, let me show you. So, our things about like what are we perceiving incorrectly? And because of the way that the maps were made, I'm gonna give you this because I put it up here. Because of the way the maps are made, oh, it's in the back, so I'm gonna take them down. What Bryan was talking about, and I'm gonna turn my camera off for a second. It will, I hope he can still hear me. But you see how China is in the middle of this is Africa, and how US, China, India, what he was referring to, that it is huge. We can fit all of these countries into Africa. And it's, amazing. He was, saying that they did that. What it has said that they did that because of navigational purposes, that they had to do that for the map. But what did it do to our perception? Yeah, Barbara saying U.S. fits inside Africa. Exactly. What does it do? And I'm gonna put y'all up so we could see it from there. So what does it do to our perception of everything? What has it done already? What did it? How the resources and the size of all the resources that are in Africa? How has that impacted Africa? And so I want us to, as we're going through this discussion, I want you to think about the positive things that we can do to increase perception of even ourselves, enhance the perception of our giving nature and our commitment, to building a better world. And what type of perceptions are there, and what type of reality is there? Like, I think there is a perception that we don't care. We're not giving back. Well, I want to share. I'm going to share something else with you about the reality is that we have people that are doing missionary work in Africa, that we are a giving people, that Afroeconomics has supported these. And I'm going to see what I can do. I'm gonna make it bigger so that you can see this information on Ms. Nixon's actual well, I don't know if that helped y'all at all. I probably didn't. It just made it bigger screen for me. But on actually in what I'm sharing, I want to, once I get this to stop being so big in my face, that I'm gonna do this. I'm going to. That was scary. I'm going to share it again. I want to share this information because we're going to look at it again during our private meeting. But this is the information on a mission trip that our member, Ms. Nixon, is actually doing. And I'm going to stay over. If I stay over this part, then I can go down. But I want to make sure that it gets recorded in here. That is, our mission trip is to Uganda, the soul of my footprint. That they're going to work with the group, the soul of my footprint. That's a nice name. And they provide, I think it has, something to do with that. They provide shoes, because I have some pictures and of them putting on shoes on the babies. And any contribution that you make, send to the Cash App or Venmo, and I'm like really hoping that it shows it because I want this recorded in here, or PayPal. It's in here, and then I will also, if anybody asks me, I will send this information to you. Let me see what I can do. That's a little bigger, and then I'll bring it down. Yeah, look at this. So I have it saved in here, and then I'm gonna go back out and I'm gonna move it. Why? So this is a Cash App information, and here is that information on. They want to provide scholarships. They want to provide scholarships to high school seniors that want to focus in the sciences or social sciences or theology or education or nonprofit work. They're going to spend time over in Uganda. So, and this is happening really quickly. So, next year we'll plan ahead better. But this will help in everything that they're doing. And make sure that you tune in on Friday, though, because we're going to talk more about it. And here's how you would donate into the Cash App, $KEILA Nixon at the Cash App. And then you could put Afro economics in there so that they'll know that we encouraged you to help out Ms. Nixon's her mission. No, if you saw her in the picture. But so this is recorded now, Mr. Jenkins. We got it in there. Because Friday's meeting is private. There is free membership available, but it's a private meeting. So it's like I encourage everybody to turn on their cameras and everything so that we can have Ms. Nixon in. So y'all get y'all $20, $2,000, $200. The babies will appreciate anything that you do, that you donate to the Uganda trip. And I would love to see Afroeconomics make a huge impact on that. Oh, thank you so much, Ms. Nixon. We appreciate everything you do. But it was that perception versus reality. We can have a perception of helping others, but are we really helping others? That's what we really have to do. Like, people should focus more on what we do than instead of what we say. If I say, oh yeah, I do that. Oh yeah, I really want to help. Oh yeah, I support my members, but I don't do that. Focus on what I do, not what I say. I've been, committed to building wealth in the Black community. 2025 will be 30 years for this firm. You know that God is good, and you know that I'm committed from my actions, And it's not easy. It's not easy because too often we're not given the opportunity to see the best in us. We're not given the opportunity to see those who are really want to do the mission work, those who really want to help, those who really want to see us move away from, these false perceptions and focus on what we can do to build a better reality for ourselves and our families and for future generations. That's what we need to be a part of, but that's not what's going to be pushed on you. I was reading with Miss Elliott today, and they were talking about that scripture which says, narrow is the path, but the narrow is the path to do right, but broad is the gate to do wrong. And I was thinking about so many professionals, Black professionals, have been running into challenges, and you look at them and you say, shouldn't they know that someone is going to want to bring them down? But no, we don't know that. I don't know why, but I just think that that's the trick of deception. When you start focusing on perception and get lost and you forget about the reality, then it becomes easy for you to be misled and get yourself into trouble, as we see with the young man in Washington, D.C. And it's going to be interesting to see if that's a young man on city council. He has been serving the residents of D.C. since he was 17 years old. 17 years old. His actions, now he's about 40, and they were arresting someone for doing bad loans, those PPP loans, and they weren't legit. So they were arresting the person, and the person said, hey, I'll help you. I'll help you bring some people down. And so he started offering money for opportunities and recorded it. And the recordings have already been released and all this, and text messages of, the city councilman asking for things. And that it's hurts. And I see Mosby doing the same things. You see all of these, who have this perception of serving us. Yeah, they got to get close to us, right, Mr. Booker? They got to get close to us in order to do the sabotage. I mean, it's not new. It goes all the way back to biblical times. How did Joseph end up in a ditch, down in a pit? Because those closest to him threw him down there. And I appreciate that tag on that video today, Mr. Booker. It was about, getting in that narrow gate, staying in that narrow gate, staying in there. Because there are so many people who are angry now. It's, Kanika, it's just, I don't know. I've never been at a point in my career, and I've been doing this a long time, more than 30 years. I was already doing it before I started my firm. So, no, the firm is going to be 30 years. So, I've been doing this a long time. I have never seen people be in such an angry place. And it's not people that are hungry. Maybe they're hungry, but it's really more on the greedy side because they're not hungry. They have everything they could possibly need. But if you don't know it, your perception is false. Your perception is you don't have enough. It'll never be enough. Someone else is holding me back from getting what I need. You're what's stopping me. No, that is the perception, when the reality is you have more than enough. And if you shared more and you cared more and you gave more, you would have even more and more than enough. I promise you. I've seen, Denzel Washington was doing a graduation speech, and he was talking about that. Like, the most powerful thing that he does is when he gives. And I'm telling you, the most powerful thing that you do is that you give, not giving, not money, not anything. The shoes, when Miss Nixon does this mission, the shoes will run out. But they will remember her kindness and the sweet smiles of that group. And she sent me a picture of them building a grill so they could cook everybody, and there's them put all this chicken on it and everything, and that they will remember that. Those kids will remember that good day forever. Forever. But we're so caught up with, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do something good when I get this. When I get that, But I can't give $5 to that because I need $5 for myself, And it used to really worry my mother because I am so generous. I'm so generous, but to me, if I don't think about the opportunity, if I don't think about giving, then I can't be motivated. I don't know how people just do and work and stay motivated just based on basic greed. I just don't think that we can do that. That is the perception that things motivate people, especially when they want to motivate us. You know what I mean? The perception is that Black people will be motivated by things. So they show us watches, and they show us trips, and they show us, these things. When in reality, if we want to have sustainable joy, we have to go deeper, a level. We have to level up into God has a bigger purpose for me than just making money. Because what God is my witness, if it was just about money, I would not be doing this. Not for us. I would just do the 9 to 5 at the firms like where I started. But God brought me from that because he said, I want you to do for your people and make a life commitment to destroying that wealth gap. Make a life commitment to destroying the wealth gap. And I thought that the wealth gap was only about money until God showed me all 10 principles of Afroeconomics. And at the core of it is God. So we can have all of the wealth gap closed if we just started robbing, stealing, killing, and this, and the way that we were discriminated against and we got into that type of toxic, ungodly behavior consistently, we could have the wealth gap closed real quick, real quick. Just, but we would be destroyed and all of our legacy would be destroyed. All of our legacy would be gone. Everything that the people that came on those slave ships sacrificed for, because we are descendants of slaves. Everything that they just sacrificed for would be for nothing if we only focus on greed. By any means necessary, close this thing. Because true wealth is not what they put on those numbers. True wealth is when we focus on loving one another, loving every color. Most importantly, loving every member of our household. So when they walk out into society, no matter what mental health problem that the other person has, they are fully equipped with the full armor of God, that they know that they focus on goodness. Because if we're just in a rebuttal state, it's just going to get worse from here. There's so much anger out here. How you doing, Ms. Dixon? So much. Yes, indeed. So let's, I want to look at just some of the perception versus the reality of it. There is a perception or something that is told to us that we have to have multiple levels of income, multiple streams of income in order to get wealthy. When in reality, the wealthiest financially among us are people that are focused. They're focused. They may have multiple streams within that same stream. I don't work part-time doing anything else. God has put me right in this. So there may be multiple licenses that I have, which I do, but they all are focused on building this registered investment advisory firm. They're focused on Afroeconomics, even down to, the higher education that I'm working on now. No, that is the focus. Sometimes people will go and they're working in one field and then they'll go to, graduate school. My PhD that I'm completing is in finance. It's all about doing better research on what we do. Me becoming better for you. So it's not taking you off track. It's not taking me off track. It's not making me worse for you. It's improving the quality of me because I own it. So in order for continuing education for me, I have to go and get it. And that's what I do. I'm constantly being continuing education in my one field. And I see it often in our community, people trying to do a whole bunch of different things, chasing dollars. Chasing dollars. No, Your multiple streams can come from the one thing that you are committed to doing well. You have to focus on providing the maximum amount of value to those that you serve. Mm. So the wealth comes generally from excelling. Just excelling extremely, tremendously in that one area. So we're focusing all of our energy and our resources and our creativity into the one business or the one field or the one profession. And within that, you can create layers on it. So you're doing that and you're becoming exceptional at that. And then you create what? I create portfolios. I created a book. I created an audio book. I created a workbook. All of those are streams of income, but they're not things that take me away from serving you. When you go the other direction, if I say, well, you know what? I love exercising. I guess I'll become a personal trainer. And then I'll become a this. And then I'll become a that. Like, no. When I go to exercise, I go to create my healthy lifestyle to create, because what? The 10th principle of Afroeconomics is our health and wealth. I know I have to stay healthy so that I can do this each Wednesday. I know that it's by the grace of God, his guidance, to keep me healthy, keep me motivated. But it's not another job. Sometimes we think just because we're good at something, all that, I can make money from that. Oh, I can make money from that. Oh, I can make money from that. But then people get confused on what they know you for. What do you want people to know you for? What do you enjoy serving them for? In my opinion, I say, what would you do even if you didn't get paid for it? I would do this even if I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Blessed with the ability to serve you and manage your assets. That's a blessing to me. But I would do this. But there's no way that you should listen to what I said if I was not the all of these degrees that I have that are focusing on what we do. And too often, based on perception, because we like the way the person talks, or they look like they got a nice car. You saw on their video, their house look nice. All of that can be fake. But you literally can go to regulators and check my background, check my licenses. That's not perception, that's reality. But some people, because their perception of me is not what they want me to be, then they don't let me help them. Reality is that most wealthy people focus on excelling in their one area. Another lie is that most people think that their biggest expense is their house or their college loan. But what in reality, really, over our lifetime, what is our greatest expense? What is our greatest expense? What do you think? I'm looking at it now. Y'all type it in. In reality, somebody got it. It's like, all y'all typing all this other stuff. What is it? Huh? Our biggest expense. What you think? What is our biggest? Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you. Good evening, Miss Dixon. Y'all just want me to tell you, huh? But our biggest expense is actually taxes. Our biggest expense is taxes. I spend a lot of time, and my clients, I thank God that they appreciate that, because And you got to know this business in order to say that, to know it. But most of the people in this business, if you ask a tax question, they go talk to a tax guy. Yeah, go talk to a tax guy. Because what? They don't feel, or either their boss told them, they're not equipped to talk about that. Because of my education, there's nobody that can tell me that I don't. I have an accounting degree. So they can't tell me that. You know, but I focus on, but I don't prepare taxes. But when we're sitting there and I'm working on your portfolio and you're saying I need such amount of money, it is innate in me because of my background to make sure that I reduce your taxes. When I see over and over people making huge tax mistakes, I have a client right now, the IRS sent her a bill for almost $8,000 because of the company mistake. She was using one of them, like Charles Schwab or TD Ameritrade, and she did the rollover, but they put it in the wrong account. So it's at $8,000. And then, so I sat down with her and she was willing, because I'm going to tell you, there's a whole bunch of people, because of their perception of us. Oh, nappy head girl, she don't know nothing about taxes. She can't help. And I set up a strategy for this client, and that bill is going to go away because I know how it should have been done. And because it was done this way, then it has to be done this way. So they asked for a letter of response, and we write them a letter of response. You provide the documentation, and it is going to get rid of that bill. What do we do? Oh, well, she don't know. JB don't know. Or the person is like, I'm not paying $30 to be in Afro economics. I'm going to sign up for one of these other ones that charge you $200 just to do taxes, thinking that you're going to get rid of a bill, and they did not do the response correctly. They're not going to take that type of time. It's some call. You don't even know these people. And we're spending all that money, Miss Davis. How you doing, Miss Walton? Yes, indeed. I don't know. I don't know, Miss Davis. Perception and reality. Reality of it is that your biggest expense is your taxes. You have to have a strategy on how to reduce my tax bill. You know, so a lot of people like, I gotta do a Roth IRA. I'm not gonna even do the company plan at all. Blah 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 blah. When they don't even have a tax strategy and they don't know why, and it's only because they heard Susie Orman say that they should have the Roth IRA. That's it. Then I meet them years later and I go, do you realize you have been missing out on a company match, and you have missed out on reducing your taxable income in the highest income time of your freaking life? And one person's rebuttal was, well, down the road, they might increase the tax rates. Shoot, down the road, they might actually get rid of taxes altogether. Down the road, you might even be dead. But what I know is what's best for you today. I remember when the Roth IRA first came out, it was meant for people who knew that they were going to inherit a lot of money down the road. How in the world? It's like the map of Africa. Something, you know what I'm saying? That you don't even know why they did it. You don't even know what in the world, what it's for, who it's for. But now they've used it as a money-making opportunity, and people are flipping around creating huge tax liabilities because of some infomercial to create transactions. But we don't let us, unfortunately, you ever say to us that we missing out on something, we gonna do it. And even if everything you needed you already had, we gonna do it because we always chasing. chasing, chasing, chasing. It's terrible. All that. So you were smart enough to accumulate the money, but some dummy can come up to you and tell you that you ain't got no damn sense. That is amazing to me. You know what I'm talking about, Miss Davis? Like, that is amazing to me. And they ain't even got the money you got. And they come out, oh my God, you are doing that? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You don't even know where they live. You don't know nothing.
Well, that's kind of like cryptocurrency. That it goes in hand
Yes.
with that.
I don't know where it lives. I don't know where it lives. I don't know at what point it ever crashes and burns. Matter of fact, I don't even care if it goes through the roof. I don't care as long as I'm not on the rocket ship. I'm telling you, it can do whatsoever it wants. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, yield not to temptation. We're just chasing stuff. But all I know is the fundamentals, the fundamentals, the fundamentals, the fundamentals. Works every time. Basketball, kickball, everything. You practice the fundamentals. What does it come down to? People lose the game because what? They ain't practiced the three shot. The three shot is now, the 3-pointer is what? A fundamental. It is a basic. It is a basic. The foul shot. Remember that? Remember that? Would they would always say, "Oh no, oh no, Shaq's going to the line. You know he can't do no foul shots. You know he can't do no foul shots. Why wouldn't he just go in there and get good at foul shots? Shaquille. Remember one time Kobe Bryant said, Shaq was everything that I'm not. Kobe was like, Shaq is the best potential player ever in the league. This was after Kobe retired. He said, I'm telling you, that is the laziest guy I ever met.
He did say that. He said he would take
You
time
remember that?
off in the summer, not work out during the
Yeah,
summer.
yeah. And then what does Shaq have to talk about? Now your wife up there married to somebody else. Doing infomercials or whatever those things shows are called. And that's something like that. Because of what? Same thing. He said, I was sloppy. I should have been a better father. I should have been a better husband. I should have been a better, simple fundamentals. You get married, you be faithful. That's a simple fundamental. You don't get married, you ain't got to worry about all that. But simple fundamentals. Follow the rules of the game that you're playing. If this has no office, what is it? There's certain things about crypto to me that just don't pass my test. But if you don't have a criteria, that's why they keep doing these things with crypto, because they keep trying to come up to my criteria. You see what I'm saying? They try to get on the exchange. So now they let them get together and get an ETF. You know what I'm saying? And then the Securities Exchange Commission said, well, I'm just telling you, we're not saying we like this product, but, we're going to put it out there because, that's what we do. So if y'all foolish, y'all, if it's not your criteria, I ain't gonna go, but if it's not if your only criteria was it needs to be on the exchange, then, so nine is like, no, I'm gonna have to raise it even more. I have to make sure, and this is their marketing tactic. Well, you don't put your whole life savings in it. You just, well, I don't have a client that doesn't care if they lose any portion of their money. So that must be you're all trillionaires somewhere. Because I have multi-millionaire clients. And regardless of what the perception may be that some people have this affinity for losing parts of their money, I don't know them. I don't know them. And by the grace of God, I have never had a client lose all of their money in something. And it is not a goal that I ever want to see. Take that back. I had this client, she had Lucent. Remember that? She had Lucent. And then Lucent went down to like zero. But that was because she would not take my advice and diversify it in the first place. So she had to take that on her chin. But what have I said? What have I said many times, Miss Davis? You know what I'm saying? And I have a client that did it, that got it the same time that she got it, and that man still has money from that today because he listened to what I said. Now that was like what, 20 something years ago? She was like, nah. And then afterwards, she even satisfied herself with the fact that it went to zero. She said, well, they basically gave it to me anyway. I wanted to say, but look, this man over here, he got more than he started with. Who in the world made you think that that's the only thing you're going to have all of it? We could have kept some, like I said, but you insisting on keeping all of it. What is up with us? Brothers be taking that advice. They want to have money. What is up? What is up? I don't know. I don't know.
Lucent was a company or
Yeah.
is a company?
When all of that stuff was changing in the telecom stuff. It was gone. No,
Oh,
it's gone. It's gone. It just went. It was flying for a minute. So you know how it did so well for a minute and then all of a sudden it's nothing? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, so if you work there, say I think the company was like AT&T, and if you work there, they give you some. They were just giving them some of it. It was like a spinoff or whatever, because I think the government made them break up the company. So that portion, boom, just eventually ended up falling apart. And that I don't know. I don't know. Sorry,
now
I'm just gonna talk, y'all. But yeah, it's just the mindset. I just don't. Mr. Johnson said, "Fix your face." When I get confused, see, that's a real friend. Said, "Fix your face." Said, "Fix your face." When it doesn't make sense, exactly. Yeah, Miss Muhammad, there's taxes. So okay, what's another lie that keeps us broke? So that that debt is good. We have this thing about debt is good, but I have yet have a person that I can say they got wealthy because of borrowing money. That they got rich like that because they borrowed their money. If they hadn't borrowed their money, they wouldn't have got, like I started my money, my money. I started my business without a loan. And it's a key part. People think that you can't, you know what I'm saying? That the only way that you're going to have a successful business is you have to borrow money. And it is not true. It is not true. Like I don't know if y'all remember when I was on this panel, and I was saying that you don't need debt. You know what I'm saying? That has not been the answer, because this banker was saying the house loan is what does it. So if what if the wealth gap, if it was about black people having homes and mortgages, having mortgage loans, if that was the key to wealth, then the wealth gap would be gone. It would just be gone. A key part of it, the wealth gap, is the fact that we tend to actually buy too much house. We tend to, when you look at the research, black people tend to take on way more debt when they purchase the home than the white counterpart. So when we go in with zero equity from the beginning, you're already getting yourself behind, because the interest rate is already going to be higher because the lender is taking on more risk. We will get in there and do that and buy it by any means necessary, any interest rate, get two loans, do whatever you got to do, because we have the perception that that's the only way to get rich. Which I had to say on that panel, no, because the best way to actually get wealthy is to start creating income for yourself and others. Build a business. So if y'all bankers would help us get business loans that people think they need to have, at least it would be something that would help build wealth in our entire community, and it would create income. That's the way you build, because the majority of the wealth gap is created because of assets. Assets. Getting a mortgage loan is not an asset. That's just a loan. Hurting your debt at the jump off, or hurting you because of you're going into it with zero down. So you're building a business that is an asset. You're purchasing the home, true. But if you're purchasing it without the down payment, you own none of it. You're just making payments. So you have all this time. And if you buy too much house, it's stopping you from doing anything else. And then we get the house, then you put on the deck, then you add on the this, and you better get that. Then you got to get the car. You got to get the car to match the new house. And you got to get the, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the perception when you could build wealth by maxing out the retirement plan at work. And I might be, because I'm an investment advisor, I'm looking at, I can advise you on real estate, or I can advise you on, your equities and your stocks and your bonds. So I'm not saying that I don't like home ownership. I'm just saying that using debt to buy that asset is not the best thing for your wealth development. But most people have to get a loan in order to buy the house, but you do not have to get a loan in order to start a business. You do not have to get a loan if you save up. What if we had a goal as a community to own half of our house when you finance only half? Like if we just set up Afro economics rule that we only finance 50%. So you take charge. You take charge, not going in begging the bank on, what's the least that I could put down. We're gonna move away from that. We're gonna move away from that. I know I got on my smoky lights today. Like it's all because I don't have on the those big umbrella lights. I just realized that. I'm like, why I look so dark? I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah, and then so like debt is not good. You can accumulate your wealth through savings and investing. Anything we too often have businesses and we don't think the business has any value. So when we don't want the business anymore, we just close the door. You don't even think about talking to me about selling the business, finding a buyer for the business. It's an asset. So, that means that we can avoid that so that you can have more control over your income. If you have credit cards and store cards and, a car payment and, all of these debts that are pulling on your income, then you just feel like you're just working. You just feel like you're just a slave. But every time you save $1, investing $1 is building an asset for your future. So the best way to determine if the home loan is appropriate is that going to be the most cost effective way for me to pay for my housing? Do I have 4 kids and they don't have apartments that big? So I got to figure out how to get this financed. But thinking like, oh, I got to do this because this is the asset and this is, and I'm throwing away money, by renting. So I got to go out here and no, that's a perception, not a reality. Unfortunately. And a lot of people ain't gonna like that, but it's true. The perception is that the US is big as Africa. And that's not true either. The reality is that Africa's way 14 times bigger than what it says on the map. It's huge. So we're going to deal more with the reality of it is did I go into debt and I'm paying more for housing than I need to be paying, because you could have a studio because it's just you. Or, and I was doing a workshop one time in Maryland at the Census Bureau, and this lady asked me, this older white lady, she was like, I have an apartment. Am I doing the wrong thing? And I said, it depends. No, I said I have to say that just for everybody in the room. Like, if that is the most cost effective way and it allows you to save more for your future, you're doing the right thing. No, you maxing out your thrift savings plan. Give me to help you with your allocation. Make sure your allocation is right. You can live anywhere. You can buy anything. You got income. You can do anything. But, we just have to stop doing things because the perception of it, keeping up with everybody else. The lie also, a big lie that keeps us broke is fake it till you make it. And I've heard that. You know what I'm saying? Like, dress for success to the extent where you're going into debt to buy luxury items to represent something, that's not even necessary. Gotta have the designer clothes, the designer bag, the designer shoes, What type of investment is that? What type of investment is that? Like, if somebody only wants, will not allow me to invest for them because I don't dress the way they want to dress, they're not worthy of the investment that God has made in me. They're not worthy. They're not worthy because they'll never understand my mentality. They'll never, ever understand the mentality of, that material things do not show wealth. So it doesn't matter to me if you come in there, dress with all of that. I'm going to think you're broke until I'm proven otherwise, because I know wealthy clients that are going around trying to show off nothing. Yes, Ms. Davis.
One of my favorites is this. Why are you saving? Tomorrow is not promised. When people
Oh,
say that to me, please go away.
that's right.
Go
That's
away.
right. Because they should not say that to you, because you have a good balance between the two. You also enjoy your life, but you know that I have to save first. So if you save, if a person saves, like you, 20+% of your income, and you can live and enjoy the rest. But when people are not investing, you know what I'm saying? Like 5%, 10%, like, if you live, that's the hard part. If you live. Every day that I work, I'm building an asset. Every day when I work, half days, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. like this. What is this called? A day and a half? It's like I work nonstop. I can't even keep up with the hours. People trip me out when they go, like, I worked 50 hours and this and that. Unless you got a real job, like a business owner talking about hours is on the wrong track, because it is a lifestyle. You don't keep up with hours when you're the one paying payroll. Lord. And so I'm like, but they probably worked for somebody so long that they can't understand how many hours that they're putting in. It doesn't even matter. If I'm on what another person would think of as vacation, I still am doing my dream. You don't walk away from something that matters. No matter what, where, who, when, where it is, I'm still JB Bryan, the owner of JB Bryan Financial Group. It doesn't stop. That's entrepreneurship. But every day that I'm doing that, I am investing in an asset that will pay for me and my legacy for the rest of my life and beyond. That's the goal. So when people think 20% is a lot, they don't realize that When you're building it as an entrepreneur, I'm giving 100. 20% is nothing. You're actually just settling because all the time that you spend is on some building somebody else's asset. You work somewhere and you're just getting the salary. You're gone. That business is not yours. So the only way to build your asset is to invest while you're working and just throw it in. It's frightening to me. It is frightening to me the millions of Black Americans that are not running me down. I should like be overwhelmed, like, oh well, y'all, I'm only going to be able to do one Wednesday a month. You know what I'm saying? Because our people should be smarter than this. We just throw it in, like, oh my goodness. Yeah, work hours equals and you're finished. Yes. And you ain't finished. You just resting to the next day. Exactly. So true. So we're looking at lies that keep us broke. Another one, a high salary will make you rich. People just chasing salaries instead of looking for opportunities to share in the profits of the company. Remember, I was telling you about my first position where I left a bank because I wanted to go into sales because I wanted to pay off all my school loans. And I knew that if I stayed at the bank, it was going to be month to month. I knew if I went into sales, that I was going to be able to pay them Jones off like I did. So when I was at the bank and every day I'd be in my cubicle calling that radio station for that radio job. And I made so much that I was able to pay my loans off and went back to graduate school. And within a year after graduating, I doubled my salary by switching jobs, going into performance based. And then when I said after graduate school that I started interviewing at the brokerage house, that man was like, if you think you make good money there, wait till you become a stockbroker. He never lied, but it's all performance based. So when I sit and work, you know what I'm saying? I'm sitting and working because it's performance based. That's what entrepreneurship is. It's performance based. You got to go get it. You got to go get it. In the miseducation of the Negro, it talks about how our schools did not teach nor encourage us to go out there. And I went to a predominantly white institution, and they did the same mistake. When I told them that I was going to ultimately get a sales job, they were like, why would you do that when you could get a high salary? So these are secrets that too many people don't share. Another lie, that you must attend college to become truly wealthy. Now y'all know that we have been lied to about that. You know, college and education is really, really a hobby for me. I love education because what? The answer is either A, B, C, or D, or writing some. You know exactly what they expect from you. It is amazing to me. The PhD program, amazing to me how easy it is. It's just not simple. You know what I'm saying? It's real simple. It's just not easy. I don't know the best way to describe it, but it's an answer. It tells you exactly what it's supposed to be. So you go through all these classes. You basically, they're robbing you through the classes, but you got to get off on that. I get off on that. I love to learn. So then you get as long as you persevere and you just keep, you get off on it. You enjoy learning. You want to do something different. You're being productive. Till you get to the last part, when they said chapter 1 is this, chapter 1, 2, 3, they tell you exactly what it is. See, that's why it is not the answer to wealth, because wealth don't work like that. One day I'm talking to Ms. Davis. The next day I'm talking to Mr. Jones. The next day I'm talking to Mr. Smith. The next day I'm talking to Ms. Howard. The next day, see, it ain't no answer to that. And every one of them has a different need. My value is determined by discovering their specific need. Not if somebody comes at you and they sell everybody the same exact freaking thing, that is a fool if you take advantage of it. Everybody's need is different. Somebody is going to inherit a lot when they get older because they know that their family's going to pass it on to them and they're going to have huge tax problems as they get older. You know, there's going to be some different planning on that. Or the other person is going to be like, I got to get as much assets accumulated as possible because ain't nothing coming in for me. I got to do this on my own. I got to make sure I eat because they know that a Black woman is the highest demographic for growing old and being poor. Black women. So we got a challenge there. Now, Black men, contrary to the perception, Black men will hustle till they die. Black women don't want to do that. So what we got to do is realize that if you don't want to hustle till you die, then you're going to have to get some assets, something that's going to pay for you when you want to sit on your asset. We got to have it. But that education, there are many very wealth, I would say, you know, of my top 10 clients, there's just as many who didn't go to college, maybe more that didn't go to college. It was what they did. As I was sharing with a member that we have in Vegas, you know, yesterday, I was like, you know, I really feel that the key to my life has been what I don't do, what I didn't do, what I said no to, way more than what I said yes to. And he was like, I know that's right. I know that's right. It is true. Mike, it's not about that education. It's about people who make smart choices, get wealthy. People who don't make smart choices, they don't get wealthy. And sometimes the smartest choice is to go straight to work. Some people go straight to college and they still can't afford enough. They can't even afford, you know, to pay for their own school loan and went to college but can't get a job. There are a whole bunch of Black people, unfortunately, who actually have college degrees and are still on minimum wage. I read a dissertation on that. That's sad. You see anybody talking about minimum wage in this campaign? No, 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 no. There's information, you know, some other just like some lies that I found. It was just talking about just myths about, you know, poverty, and it was saying that people feel that getting rid of poverty programs because they feel that poverty programs make people lazy and they create drug use and criminal behavior. But the statistics actually show that people who are getting the supplemental nutrition assistance are actually, most of them, 80% actually have jobs at some point before or after they get the benefits. 80% actually are workers. Lots of people who work 40 hours plus still are at poverty or below. That's scary. Especially like determining poverty level as a national issue, knowing that poverty in, like, say, California somewhere might be 40,000. Poverty, you know, somewhere else might legitimately be 20,000. But they can still live off anything over 20. But some places you might, 20 is absolutely nothing. Perception's reality. No, and it was saying the government spends billions on subsidies that help everyone from first-time home buyers to farmers to bad crops yields for some farmers who don't get their money out of their crop, as well as the government spends billions on companies looking for um, energy, another source of energy. So they're investing in research, and many of these subsidies are less visible, although just as expensive to the government because people receive them through tax breaks as opposed to cash payments. Exactly. And that's a good point they're trying to say is that there's a perception that poor people live off handouts, but actually the people who benefit the most from mortgages are people who are making 100,000 or more that are able to write off their interest as a itemized deduction, where the you'll see the other person may have gotten a mortgage, but lower income person is doing the standard deduction because they don't. So the interest that they're paying is not a tax write-off. So there's billions of dollars gone to high income people for having a mortgage. Perceptions perceptions versus the reality of it is the subsidies on these mortgages are not helping the poor people as much as subsidizing on home buying for higher income people. So Booker said it's slavery. But just having debt, like that. I want to look at some more of these myths and then I'm gonna let y'all go. And then it's there was one. Yeah, also, like there's this myth that education alone is a magic remedy for solving poverty, especially in our community. You think you get the kid and you send them to college, that they're going to go out there and they're going to be successful because you send them to college. But this is the truth, and this is helping me articulate the reality of it. Your parents' wealth is a much better indicator for success than where you went to college. Studies have shown that rich people whose parents have money, those kids, even when they're high school dropouts, maintain their wealth at the same rate that a poor college graduates remain in poverty. So say 20% of the rich kids drop out of high school and they're still able to maintain their wealth, say 20%. And that same 20% of poor people who went to college, still 20% of them still stay poor. Mm, mm, mm. I thought that was amazing. The minimum wage is meant for teenagers working on their first time job, but about half of those making the federal minimum wage are over 25 years old, and 72% of the total federal minimum wage workforce has at least a high school degree, meaning some of them got the college ones I'm telling you about. And a lot of the minimum wage is dominated by us. See, perception. Yeah, Barbara's like people even in the military are needing to get subsidized, especially now. Things cost a lot. But I want us to know that you can always rely on that I'm going to accept you just the way you are. We don't have to prove anything to me. All I want to do is make life better. That's all I want to do is make life better. Don't fill up your head like, people make up rules. Yes, exactly. 80/20. We make up these rules in our mind like, oh, that person won't help me because I'm not rich enough. That person won't help me because they're so and so, or that person won't help me. I want to think that, but maybe it's more just we're just making bad choices, or maybe just not getting any help at all and just guessing on through it. But you can make a lot of difference in your life if you get help in how you use your money. Don't fall into the perception that you don't have enough to get help, or you have so much that you don't need to be with a Black person anymore forever. Like, it's worth trying out, getting help, And it is shocking to me how many Black people that work really hard don't have any help with their money. I get help with everything. I just do. I want help. I'm just the type of person, I believe in professionals. So if I want to do something like, I have a track specialist that helps me, at least 2 days a week. Then I have a throws specialist that helps me with my throws. Then I have, just a powerlifting, I don't know, she was a specialist, but the gym that she's at has everything that I need for my powerlifting. So that's what I got to do. I believe in specialists. I believe in investing in that. I used to totally neglect my fro because I was like, oh, it's just a natural. Now my fro does better because I go and let a professional take care of my hair. My hair loves to be loved on. We deserve to be loved on. We deserve to focus on our future. We deserve to stop those perceptions that have been holding us back, that we don't deserve to have help. We do. You want to, use your gun properly. We got training from Lone Wolf Firearm Training, which a client asked me to get you to call her, and I'm going to send you. I think she wanted me to send her name. You listening? If you're listening to me, if you wanted me to, I think she wanted me to send you her name. She's gonna be calling you. But see, that's why it's important to check in on Wednesdays so I can remember what I was supposed to do. But I appreciate you all. I do. What were you gonna say, Miss Davis? I see you. I can tell when you want to say something.
Oh, I was just going to touch on.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm just being silly, but
Well, silly is good. That is very good. Be silly till you can't be silly no more.
I think that, like our people, I know, like quite often I'll see us at the gas station.
That's right.
We've got a wad of lottery tickets that
Lord, yes. That is so true. That is so true. I am so far removed from my regular hood, but you love going to your hood gas station, buying a 40. That's what you probably doing. Probably buy. Look, I don't go inside, but the last time I went inside, I forgot where I was. Somewhere downtown, I think. And I went inside and they were in there. But I did not know there's like $50 lottery tickets to scratch offs for $50, $20, $30. I'm like thinking it's still like $1. That's
no.
indeed Queen Howard. It is scary, the money that we are putting out. Don't go inside, y'all. That's the key. Stay at the pump. Stay at the pump. Don't go inside. The food is bad. It's all bad. But I'm gonna tell you, I used to go in there and buy them hot dogs and the chili I just can't believe I used to eat like that. Lord, I don't know what would happen if I did still eat. Oh Lord, I don't know. I probably wouldn't be able to walk. Thank God, from whom all blessings flow. Stay out. Look, do not go inside the stove. But I've always told you, Ms. Davis, the reason I don't do what I don't do because I know I would do it well.
Yep, you said
Lord,
you'll be very good at it.
you
So
would get 140, I would get 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know. Don't mess with it. I can't mess with it. Lord. And that, and I think a lot of times people judge people that don't do things. And I'm like, they shouldn't. Somebody made a post the other day and they were like, somebody told me they don't do that and they don't do that and they don't do that. But they could be saying it for the reason I'm saying it. Because if I did it, you wouldn't like me. You know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness. I thank God. People, you got to know your own limits. And I think a lot of people don't know their limits. You know what I'm saying? They know their limits. Like, you don't do anything obsessively, Ms. Davis. You don't eat a lot. You don't sleep a lot. You don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I do something, I do a lot. I do it a lot. I do it. So it's like, don't even start. Don't start. When you see it. And I work a lot. Go to school a lot. When I work out a lot. I do everything a lot. So you just know yourself, know your limits. Don't start none, won't be none. Mm, 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 mm. I know you want to say something smart, but don't say. Don't worry. I love y'all. Thank you. That's right. Don't worry about a thing. Thank you. Good night. Reverend Bozeman's not feeling well. Let's pray for him. I'm a, I'm
okay,
a,
okay, okay.
I'm gonna put up the mission information again, just so we have it recorded. The Africa trip, y'all. I'm gonna put it at the end. Okay. Oh, it's right. Here it is. And this is the Cash App. Let me see. Cash App. Please Cash App. Put Afro Economics to Miss Nixon's Africa trip. Get them babies some shoes. That's right. Look at the babies. I'll see them. There she is. That's right. Soul of my footprint. And then, and we'll see her Friday. I'll see you, Lee K. And here's the Cash App. Kaylin Nixon, $. Ela. Love y'all. Mm, mm.
All right.
All right.
Love you.
Bye-bye. Love you more than that. Bye-bye. Thank
All right. See you Friday.
you. Thank you, Lisa. Friday. Thank you. Thank you. We love you, Reverend Bozeman. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Thank you, Don. Thank you. Thank you. I see you. Anika. Mr. Booker. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Demand Entertainment. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Ms. Mac. Health. Amen. You said it. That's right. Health, 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 health.